And this afternoon, Parliament resumes sitting as it races against time to pass last-minute bills before the end of the 8th Parliament. We'll be live with our reporter for the very latest. And also in a bulletin, governing NPP accuses opposition NDC of deliberately destroying official election records in disputed constituencies as it vows to protect its victory in these constituencies.
The person who has claimed to have genuinely won an election should rather be interested in protecting the pieces of evidence that will prove that he has indeed won.
Economist Professor Godfred Boppin backs President-elect John Dramani Mahama's decision to continue the free SHS policy as he suggests parents pay for feeding of boarding students.
Look, free senior high school is not the reason why Ghana has run into debt crisis. We can still have a progressive free senior high school where academic facility user free is free, but if you choose to keep your child in a boarding school, you must be willing to feed your child. If your child were to be staying with you at home, you will feed your child.
And later in a bulletin, Ghana Medical Association attributes the surge in cholera cases to lax hygiene measures as the Western region records 1,347 cases in December.
Cholera has a pattern, and every 5 to 6 years we get an infection in our communities. However, 2024 this year has been overwhelming for our health facilities.
Details of these stories and many more coming up shortly. Stay with me.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Thank you so much for joining us on the bulletin. My name is Awusi Dede Jange. This afternoon, the governing NPP has accused the opposition NDC of deliberately destroying official election collation document, popularly referred to as pink sheet. The party claims the NDC destroyed the pink sheet in order to contest results in the disputed constituencies. Well, the disputed constituencies include Tema Central, Okankwe Central, Ablekuma North, among others. Chairman of the Election and Legal Affairs Committee of NPP, Peter McMenu, addressed the media a while ago. Take a listen to him.
The person who has claimed to have genuinely won an election should rather be interested in protecting the pieces of evidence that will prove that he has indeed won. It is thus not in doubt that the only reasonable conclusion that can be drawn from the lawless conduct of the NDC leadership and their party tax is that they know they have lost the parliamentary elections in these constituencies and are therefore desperately seeking to destroy all the pieces of evidence in order to make it impossible for the victor to prove his victory. We shall at this juncture proceed to demonstrate that the NPP parliamentary candidates in the above-mentioned constituencies indeed won the parliamentary elections. Details of infractions in each constituency. 1. Ablekuma North constituency. The NPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Nana Akuya Owusu Afriye, has won the parliamentary seat with 414 votes difference. According to data collated from all the 281 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency, Honorable Akuya Afriye of the NPP obtained a total of 34,613 votes to beat her contender, Rebra Obem of the NDC, who obtained 34,199 votes. We have scanned all the 281 pink sheets issued to us by the presiding officers of the various polling stations before transporting them to the EC Collation Center. Despite knowing that they have lost the parliamentary elections in Ablekuma North, per the records on the pink sheet, the NDC and their parliamentary candidate are refusing to accept the reality and to respect the will of the people as expressed at the polls. They are still desperately seeking to mislead their supporters and the general public into believing that they won the election.
So you had there the chairman of Election and Legal Affairs Committee of the NPP, Peter Mark-Menu, addressing the media a while ago. Well, let's go over the phone line and speak to my colleague, Eko Boachi, who was at the press briefing, and he will bring us up to speed on what really happened. Eko, the party has highlighted from their perspective events that transpired during the coalition process. What are they saying with concerns to their next line of action?
So they are saying that only the Electoral Commission can tell Ghana to go, as in terms of getting some redress to this whole issue. So it's only the Electoral Commission that can tell the party to go to court if they have issues. But EC itself says that there has been no collation, so the NPP is banking on EC statements and asking the Electoral Commission to go ahead and do the collation as they deem right.
All right, thank you so much, Ekobashi, for bringing us up to speed on the NPP press. I would go back, and the press is still on, so we'll tackle that in our subsequent bulletin. But some electorate in one of the disputed constituencies, Okankwe Central, have been speaking to Starr News about issues that have characterized the coalition process. Take a listen to them.
Here is not nice or well to be spoken about. There is tension, yes, tension.
So because of that, you are worried as well?
Yes, we are worried because the NDC says they are the winner and the MPP also says they are the winner. So currently, we don't know who is the winner so far. So we are patiently waiting on our EC to declare the winner.
Na mate say yesemo si yebesa akan tin kam so yebesa akan na ne awadie no na nka ye de ama no na so dua ba o ye mpata enwa na mpuntuo na ekoso na koso akoso ama ye na ye nya ya so bi nti de ya twan ne say ye de ya say se do mo ye first one na anya yie the second one no o mo ba hwe na wo mo akan.
We are worried because basa betmes because they say nipa na the purpose in the Okankwe Central, we have Sadek fans and then we have Boama fans. So that one there, it could be matter. So yes, Electoral Commission say and can hold him on for the dano and to the that says something to be what.
So you had some electorate in Okankwe Central speaking to my colleague there about issues that characterize the coalition process. But this particular election has been characterized with a huge voter apathy, and my colleague Nanama is in the studio with what people have been saying on social media concerning that matter. Nanama.
Well, we see that. Thank you very much. When we move over to Twitter, formerly Twitter X, we have here Anasiba. I didn't vote because I didn't see the need to spend 700 Ghana cedis as TNT to vote. I believe each government wego come. I for work before I eat, but I would have voted for MPP had I gone to vote. Eric says that not casting a ballot is still voting. Stop this and no peace. Fabio adds, yes, I voted for number 12 and still proud of my intelligence. Ruthless Savage says all be lies. We just voted out the NDC based on the mismanagement of economic performance. M simply said tired. We move over to Facebook. We have here Hala, who says, you people don't want to accept that they lost the election fairly. Call for a rerun of the elections. Gap in Baumir's voice would be wider. Only elections you lost. You want to justify the lost. All lost, nah, be lost. Then Stephen says the vigilance of the NDC prevented the NPP ghosts on the register from voting. We have Prince. I didn't because nobody deserved my vote this year. And our last comment from Facebook, Joe Wise says SCI means supremacy, complacency and impunity in the NPP government made me angry and I voted against them. So this is what we have to hear from social media. My name is Nanama Akwa. I will see the day back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Nanama, for bringing us what people have been saying on social media concerning voter apathy. But let's talk about the most topical issue today, because after a marathon of requests, Parliament has resumed sitting. It follows an earlier request by Majority Leader Alexander Fenyamarkins to reconvene Parliament on November 28 and 29 to address pressing matters. However, Speaker Bagwin had maintained that the parliamentary activities will remain suspended until after the December 7 general elections. And we know that the New Patriotic Party suffered its heaviest defeat in parliamentary elections since 1992 in a just-ended polls. Some members of the NDC caucus spoke to Starr News ahead of today's sitting. Take a listen to them.
The kind of governance we will offer will be a governance of transparency, of accountability. We will be above board. We will listen to the people. The Electoral Commission knows that under CI 127, they have absolutely no legal basis to engage in recollation. Only the courts of our country can order a recollation. They continue to show that they are so incompetent, they are so inept, they will do anything to save face for the New Patriotic Party. And that is why the vast majority of Ghanaians are demanding that the Jimensa, Bosman Asari, and that MPP Full Soldier, Pia Hene, all of them will just have to leave.
Out of that a government of humility like that of President Mahama will listen to the people. So even when the people are complaining and things are not going well, we should have the humility to accept and listen to them and take on board ideas that can help to make life better for them. And so I'm very confident that His Excellency President Mahama is going to deliver.
John Mahama has said that the Free Senior High School has come to stay, and he is going to improve it by doing what I've indicated, a minimum.
Now, let's talk about the bill. This bill became a subject of controversy. The 8th Parliament will expire in about 3 weeks. Do you think you and your side will be supporting in the passage of this free SHS bill and a number of bills in your sector?
Well, the Free Senior High School bill in its current form certainly cannot be acceptable. I say so because even those of us on the Parliamentary Committee on Education, we didn't really have sufficient time to delve into it, and we have not made any contribution to it.
So you had there some MPs reacting towards today's sitting, but we're trying to get our parliamentary affairs correspondent Al Hassan Ibrahim to bring us up to speed. He's at Parliament, and we want to find out what is the atmosphere like, because we know that after a marathon of requests, Parliament is resuming sitting today. And I understand we have IB on the line. IB, many thanks for joining us. We know that we all witnessed the acrimonious event before Parliament went on recess. What is the atmosphere in Parliament right now?
Well, the Majority Leader is currently addressing the media. Let's take a listen to him.
House with Mr. Speaker. So we've had some very positive engagement. We are doing.
Right, it seems we've lost IB there, but we're trying to reconnect because he's in Parliament and we were about getting the Majority Leader. We understand he's addressing the media because we know that Parliament is sitting today. He follows an earlier request by Majority Leader Alexander Fenyamarkins to reconvene Parliament on November 28 and 29 to address pressing matters. But we also know that Speaker Bagwin had maintained that parliamentary activities would remain suspended until the December 7 general elections. And we know that the New Patriotic Party suffered heaviest defeat in parliamentary elections since 1992 in a just-ended polls. And you had some reactions from some member of Parliament reacting to the whole situation ahead of the sitting today. We understand we have IB on the line now. IB, if you can hear me now, can we do? Does the Majority Leader still speaking?
Listen, hold on and listen to him.
Okay.
We are just 61, with other small parties joining us, making 67. But the 97 group was very formidable. And in 2000, we managed to overtake them in numbers. In 2004, again, we led the House in the third parliament. In the fourth parliament, they took over. In the fifth parliament, they still control the House. In the sixth parliament, we had a commanding majority of 169, which was very unprecedented, with over 1 million votes for the presidential candidate Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. In 2020 election, again we had a split parliament, where people say hung parliament, which had a single majority which I lead. Then we had over 500,000 votes for our presidential candidate Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now come 2024, where they have over 170 seats. Tel Aviv, that is life. That is democracy. All right? We congratulate them. The people of Ghana have heard them. They've given them the mandate. Our job in opposition is to do what we're supposed to do, keep their feet to the fire. So this is not something that has to be celebrated in perpetuity. They would have to be magnanimous in victory as we see the next 4 years. We are very positive that come 2028, Ghanaians will return us into office. We are going to take stock, look at where we got it wrong, correct our mistakes, come together as a team, as a formidable opposition, as a formidable minority, not to be disruptive, no violence, no chaos, but to act within the confines of the law, argue on issues, and distinguish ourselves for the people of Ghana to know that this is MPP. We believe in democracy and we accept the result. Safe to say that some outstanding areas that our friends.
So you had the majority leader, Alexander Fenyo-Markins, addressing the press conference in Parliament right now, and he says he's certain that in 2028, the NPP is hopeful that it will retain in Parliament in full majority. But let's do other stories now, because economist at the University of Ghana, Professor Godfred Bopin, is backing President-elect John Dramani Mahama's decision to continue the free SHS program. John Dramani Mahama has rebuffed fears that his administration will abolish the program following apprehension by a section of the public after comment attributed to some leaders of the NDC implying that the policy may be scrapped. The president-elect, during a video broadcast, re-echoed his desire to fine-tune the policy in order to make it effective. Take a listen to him.
Come to stay, and it is not going anywhere. Nobody is going to scrap free SHS. What was said was political talk, and it was just political gimmickry. Free SHS is not going anywhere. We're going to maintain the policy. What we're going to do is to get dedicated funding for it so that it is better resourced than it is currently. There's a lot of waste in the system. We're going to help to make it more efficient so that the teachers, the parents, and the students get the best out of the free SHS. We're going to look at the basic school level too. Because we have focused on free SHS, we are abandoning the basic level. And so the basic level is becoming a major problem. 1.3 million pupils at the basic level do not have furniture. They don't have tables and chairs to sit on. They lie on their stomachs in the classroom or sit on cement blocks. And that's because all our focus has been on the secondary school level. So we're going to hold a national education forum. And that forum is going to bring all the stakeholders together. And we're going to take a look at the whole education value chain. And we're going to come, and by consensus, all of us, it's non-partisan, everybody of every walk of life who has a stake in education is going to be at that conference.
So he had the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama. Well, one person who agrees with the president-elect is Professor Gopin, who is suggesting parents pay for feeding for boarding students. According to him, this will greatly reduce the burden on government. He spoke on the Morning Star with Nadedi Teti.
Look, free senior high school is not the reason why Ghana has run into debt crisis. If we are able to deal with corruption, bloated contracts, procurement infractions and cut down on wasteful spending, why can't we sustain free senior high school? In any case, I have a different view on free senior high school. You know what that view is? We can still have a progressive free senior high school where academic facility user fee is free, chairs are provided, textbooks are provided. But if you choose to keep your child in a boarding school, you must be willing to feed your child. If your child were to be staying with you at home, you will feed your child. So for people who choose to have their children in boarding school, they must be willing to pay. There are so many other Ghanaians who after BECE, JSS, junior high school, didn't have to go to secondary school. Some have gone to trading, learning vocational, and the rest of them. Nobody feeds them. So the idea is that we can still have free senior high school. Because if you look at the free senior high school, the bulk of the money is spent on feeding. Even the feeding is of low quality. Do you know that out-of-pocket expenditure on senior high school has actually gone up? Parents even wish they could just WhatsApp the jollof rice to their children in school. So the idea is that let's see how we can take out the boarding fee. Let parents take care of that. Let the government provide the chairs and everything. With that approach, you see that so many people who have taken their children to boarding actually would have preferred that they would be day students and strengthen the community schools.
Professor Gwapin has also been reacting to President Akufo-Addo's claim that Ghana's economy has recovered to pre-COVID levels of growth. According to him, Ghana's economy is not out of the woods despite the modest progress.
The position of government has always been at variance with the reality, and we have not missed the opportunity to point it out to Ghanaians that yes, we've made some modest progress, but we are not out of the woods, and the recovery we are celebrating is also not at pre-pandemic level. But in any case, nowadays, pre-pandemic level growth was not growth to be celebrated excessively in the first place. So even if we are saying that we have not returned to pre-pandemic growth, the pre-pandemic growth was not our ideal, optimal situation. We had pointed out to the government from 2017, and you can check the data and what we said, that yes, growth has returned much better than what it was in 2014, 2015, 2016. But we were mindful in pointing out that Ghana was growing far below its potential. So even though average GDP growth between 2017 and then 2019, probably around 6.5, 6.9%, it was still below, or we were growing far below our potential. Let's look at the current growth trajectory and even compare that to pre-pandemic. We can say that the worst moments are over, but it doesn't mean that we have returned to pre-pandemic growth that would allow us to take our legs off the accelerator.
So you have the economist at the University of Ghana, Professor Godfred Gbagben. You're still listening to the Star Midday News here on Star 103.5 FM. The National Democratic Congress, NDC, has vowed to investigate the sale of state lands to private developers. The party says it will scrutinize all transactions and take necessary actions after 7 January 2025. It follows reports that some state lands have been hastily sold to private developers. National organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin, revealed this during an interview with my colleague Isaac Bediako.
We have intel that some state lands have been sold to private developers, and they want to quickly start something on it before the new government takes over. But that one is being resisted, is going to be resisted. That any state land that you have acquired is going to be looked into. You have what it takes to develop it. So until the new government takes over, if you have any state land and you are developing it, stop, because you may be venturing into an unprofitable venture. And we will also go further to find out from people who acquire these state lands to give us better and further particulars as to whether they deserve to hold it, who sold it to them. So if you are in the process of buying it, just think twice. If you have bought it and you want to develop it, hold on, because we will not allow you to do that.
National organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin, speaking to my colleague there, Isaac Justice Bediako. The Ghana Medical Association has attributed a surge in cholera cases to lax hygiene measures as the Western region records 1,347 cases in December. The outbreak, which has resulted in 21 deaths across 4 regions in the country, has hit the Western region the hardest. Despite the launch of a mass vaccination program to combat the outbreak, Dr. David Kofi Owusu, chairman of the Western Region Division of the Ghana Medical Association, has urged the public to prioritize personal hygiene. He made these remarks on Morning Star.
Cholera has a pattern, and every 5 to 6 years we get an infection in our communities. However, 2024 this year has been overwhelming for our health facilities. During the time of COVID, one of the observations was that cholera didn't suffer during that period, over a 2-year period or so. Cholera didn't suffer. The same principles can be applied to cholera, and then we won't see this disease rearing its ugly head in our communities again if we learn the lesson. So I think that we should as a society we should take issues of health very serious, because other than that, people are going to die needlessly, and it's unfortunate the numbers who have unfortunately lost their life. We should keep our communities very clean, and then we should make sure that the food we eat, especially during this period, is hot, well heated. And then we should also clean our hands regularly.
Dr. David Kofi Owusu is the chairman of the Western Region Division of the Ghana Medical Association. It's time for sports, and Jones is in the studio with sports news.
Right, so we start off, and a good afternoon to all Kotoko fans. Of course, yesterday they beat Hearts of Oak by a goal to nothing. But let's move to the top of the table, because Kpando Hearts of Lions have moved top of the Ghana Premier League table after beating current champion Samatex FC 1-0 in a breathtaking game in Samraboy. Lions now lead the table 24 points with a superior goal difference to that of Bibiani Gold Stars, who were held to a 1-1 draw at Kerala United. PRO of Hearts of Lions, Eric Eliaji, says going top of the league means a lot to them, although they won't be complacent.
So this victory means so much to us as a club. Our story last season, we struggled to actually survive the league, and this particular season we want to take every game by storm. The boys going all the way to Samates to go and get this victory over them was one that needs to be celebrated. The technical team really appreciated the boys after the 90 minutes, and you can see from the celebration after 90 minutes, both the playing team and the technical team were all in a jubilant mood after the referee's whistle went for the end of this game. It is a game that has propelled us to the top of the Premier League table, and we are having 2 home matches to play consecutively in Kpando. So this win, we wanted it badly, and we really actually harnessed it, and we are so happy as a club.
Let's move to the European scene, because Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola says he can't find solutions to the current crisis facing the club, and ultimately admits that he's not good enough at the moment to turn things around, as Manchester United staged a stunning comeback at the Etihad Stadium as Amad Diallo's last-minute goal clinched a 2-1 victory for Manchester United over Pep's Man City. The results mean City have won just 1 game in 11 games, and Pep is very, very much frustrated.
This situation happened many times. I don't have defense, so I'm the boss, I'm the manager. I have to find a solution, and I don't find a solution. So this is a big club, and big club, when you lose 8 to 10, something wrong has happened. So I said, I can say the schedule is tough, the injured the players, but no, 3-0 against Feyenoord, 75 minutes, they will lose the game. Do you think it's the injuries? Is the schedule? No, we have to win that game. Today we have to win that game, because except the action from Bruno Fernandes, because Anthony Taylor have done the gesture always has done for 9 years to me.
Right, so that should do it for sports. Don't forget that the CAF 2024 Awards will take place tonight at 6 p.m. in Morocco. That should do it for sports. My name is Jones Aji.
Thank you so much, Jones, for bringing us sports news. And that brings us to the end of the midday news here on Star 103.5 FM. For more news, log on to starfm.com.gh. Have a good afternoon.